Hey everyone, it's Mr. Aarons. Recording my first math lesson here. We got lesson 1-1. This one is about variables and expressions. All right, so we got some key terms to start. This is how I'm going to start most of my lessons. Three key terms for today. We got numerical expressions, algebraic expressions, and a variable. We're actually going to start with a variable. A lot of you have probably heard this before, but a variable, it's not that difficult, is a letter. A letter that stands for a number. Stands for a number. It can be any letter we want. It could be some examples right here. It could be G, it could be X, it could be Z. A lot of times problems will use X or Y or Z, but it can be literally any letter that we want. So that's a variable. We'll talk about it a little bit more in a second. Second big term is going to be, we're going to go from the bottom to the top, algebraic expression. An algebraic expression is a mathematical term that uses not only variables, but numerals as well, and operation symbols. So I'll write an example of it to start. An example would be, let's do x plus 5. So it's going to be a math phrase using numbers and variables. All right, so right here we have our variable and our number. So this is our algebraic expression, but we don't need an equal sign there. Another one could be z times 40. We have our operation symbol and our variable and our number. An example of an algebraic expression. Now, a numerical expression is something that you're pretty familiar with. All that is a math phrase without a variable. An example of that could be as simple as 2 plus 2. There's no variable there. My z's are kind of looking like 2s. I'm going to do that for my z's. There's no variable. We just have a 2 and a 2. Those are both numbers. There's no variable. It's a numerical expression. Another example could be 5 times 3. There's no variable. Remember, a variable is a letter. Letter that stands for a number. We don't have a variable there. Therefore, it's a numerical expression. All right, so those are our big terms that we have. Next, we are going to look at determining if something is a numerical expression or an algebraic expression. So I'm just going to give you a couple quick examples here. Our first one is, I want you to think about is 5 minus 5. Think about 5 minus 5. Would that be a numerical expression or an algebraic expression? Now you're probably thinking, that's super easy, Mr. Aarons. There's no variable in there. There's not a letter. It's two numbers. So it has to be a numerical expression. So I'm just going to write numerical. What if I said 100 plus 13 times 5? Again, there's no variable there. It's going to be numerical. All right, here we go. We got 6z plus 6. We got our z right here. That's our variable, so that's going to be an algebraic expression. Now what makes an expression is the fact that there's no equal sign. All right, we'll do one more example here. 8p. Let's leave it as 8p. 8p is the same as 8 times p. Can also be written as this. There's a lot of different ways to write these with variables. So 8p, if these two are touching, that means times. This means times with a little dot. This means times because of the parentheses. And that means times. I know it's confusing, but we have a number. We have our number 8 and our variable p. That means this is algebraic. All you need to remember is if there's a variable in it, then it's an algebraic expression. If there's no variable, then it's a numerical expression. All right, moving on. We are going to look at translating algebraic expressions. That means sometimes they're not going to give us the numbers and letters right there, but they're going to write it out in words. So here we have 9 more than a number y. And I have to think, 9 more than a number y. So I'm thinking we have a number y. Write that right here. 9 more than that. What would 9 more than a number y be? Well, it's not that complicated. All you have to think is 9 more than y would be y plus 9. That's as easy as it is. You don't need to overthink it. 9 more than y would be y plus 9. Looking at our next one, we have a number z. My z's look like 2s. I gotta work on that. A number z times 3. So we have our number z. What are we going to do to it? Times it by 3. And again, there's a lot of different ways you can write that. Most common in your book, I think you'll see something that just looks like that, 3z. Right now is your moment to remember. If there's just two of a number touching a letter, it means times. All right, sometimes these can be tricky because you don't know what certain words mean. But there's key words that you can find in them. For example, in this one, I was able to see 9 more. I know that more means add. I know that fewer would mean minus. So if it said 9 fewer than a number y, that would mean 9 minus y. I know words like times are going to be times. Product is going to be times. Divided by is going to be divide. So you got to look at those key words. Here we got our times. There we had our more. We'll do one more example. What if I said 4 less than a number n? So I know we have our number n, less. That makes me think of what? 4 less. It's going to be minus 4. So you got to look for these key words, and that'll help you translate these algebraic expressions. All right, we got a long one down here. A big translation to do. We got bagels cost 50 cents each. What would an algebraic expression for the bagel? This isn't super direct. It's kind of making us think about it. So we know that bagels, we got to think of a letter for. So I'm going to just use B because bagels start with B. So I have bagels, and they each cost 50 cents. So we're trying to figure out bagels, how many? That's our what? That's our variable. Each bagel costs 50 cents. So I know if I am trying to figure out how many bagels I am paying for, it's going to be B times 50. That might be confusing for you to think about right now. But all you need to know is that you need to figure out what your variable is going to be. In this case, we have bagels cost 50 cents each. I picked a variable for bagels, B, cost 50 cents each. So I know that every bagel is going to cost 50 cents. So if I had 7 bagels, look what I could do. I could plug 7 right in for B. So 7 times 50 cents each. Bring out my trusty calculator here. 7 times 50. I know you can probably do this in your head. I know I can. I just wanted to pull out my calculator, but it's not even working. I think the batteries are dead on it. Anyway, 7 times 50, I can carry this over. 7 times 5 is 35, so I know that is going to be $3.50 for 7 bagels. So B is the amount of bagels. 50 cents is each. So I could do that with any number. I could do it with 1 bagel. 1 bagel would be 50 cents. 2 bagels would be $1. So all I have to do is just plug in the number of bagels into here. That's what my algebraic expression helps me find. that is pretty much the gist of this lesson. I'm going to do a couple more examples down here at the bottom. Let's see. I want to do this one right here. Yeah, this one. So we're trying to decide if this is a numerical expression or an algebraic expression. What I'm going to do is, let's see, D dozen eggs this is going to be confusing because you got your D dozen eggs. So is it a dozen eggs? That might be hard for you to think about right now, but I know that a dozen eggs is 12 eggs. And I know that D represents my dozen eggs. So D is going to equal 12 eggs. So let's say I had 5 dozen. I could write that as 5D. Now all I have to do is plug in 12 eggs for D. 5 times 12, you can do that one in your head, equals 60. If that one confuses you right now, don't worry about that one too much. That's more of a challenge problem. We'll do one more here. All right, we are going to write a variable expression for each word. For this word frizz. Let's see if I got room right back here. So we're going to do the product of C and 3. Now I'm thinking, where's my keyword in here? How am I going to write this algebraic expression? My keyword is product. If you don't know what that one means quite yet, write this one down. Product means multiply. So product of C and 3 is going to be C times 3. It's easy as that. There's my first lesson. Email me with any questions that you have. Lesson 1-1 right there. Email me with questions or set up a Google Meet with me or ask me in person. Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.